Hi kids, welcome to math today. We are on module 3, lesson 6, and today is kind of like yesterday. I would like for you to go get your hide zero cards that we made and put your name and the date on the top. We are on page 29 and 31. So please go get your name, get the right pages, and get your hide zero cards out for me, and then come back and push play, okay? All right. So yesterday we were learning that, or on Friday, we were learning that writing the unit form of numbers. So if you remember, this is what the unit form looked like. If the number was 231, we wrote 2 hundreds, 3 tens, and 1 1. You don't need to write this on your paper. I was just reviewing with you. So unit form meant writing out the units like you would find them on the hundreds chart. So 2 hundreds, 3 tens, 1 1 with the words written out, correct? Okay. Something else to be aware of is the word standard form. So standard form is just writing the regular number like we would normally write it, 231. So that's called standard form. This is called unit form. Today we are going to be learning something called expanded form. You can see I erased it because I already recorded this once and I had pushed the wrong button and it recorded my big TV screen instead of my computer screen. So I went to look at it and it was just a blank video of Mrs. Cavanice's voice saying blah, blah, blah. So I had to erase it and we're starting over again. So if you see numbers written on there, that's why. Silly me, always making mistakes, right? But I'm a good problem solver. So I decided not to throw a fit and to erase that one and start over again. So here we are. Hopefully I teach it as well the second time as I did the first time. Okay, so you're going to get out your hide zero cards and you're going to lay out hundreds in one spot, tens in one spot, ones in the other spot so that you can grab them easily when you need them. Okay, we're going to be using them again for this lesson. Hopefully you kept them in a safe spot at your house. And let's get started. So why it's important to remember those words, standard form and unit form and expanded form, is because on your assessment at the end of the trimester, which is the end of October, so not that long from now, it's going to ask you to show different numbers using unit form or standard form or expanded form. Okay, I was laying out my hide zero cards so I could find them easily. Now I'm ready. So what we're using today is expanded form. So try to put this in your brain when I show you what expanded form looks like. So when you're asked to write a number in expanded form, you know what it means. So remember on our last lesson how we did the number bonds and there was the whole and then we had the 3 parts? Well, expanded form is just taking those 3 parts and putting a plus sign in between them and whatever it equals, okay? So here's 231 in standard form. Here's 231 in unit form that we learned last time. Now we're going to put 231 in expanded form. So what I want you to do is find the 200 and the 30. We're just building this number here, 231. Okay. And we're going to take those pieces apart. Let me move it up here. We're going to pull them apart and we're going to write this as our standard form. So we have 200 plus 30 plus 1 equals 231. So there's our 3 parts right there, 230 and 1. We're just putting them together and with plus signs for expanded form. So expanded form means we're just taking that number and we're expanding it out into all of its different pieces. All right, let's look at the next one. We have 312. So we're going to need our 300. And we don't have a 12 card, so we need to use our 10 to get a 1 in the tens place. And 12 has a 2 in the ones place. So there's our hundreds and our tens and our ones. 312, it looks just like this number. Now we're going to expand that number. Okay, so we have 300 plus 110 plus 2 ones equals 312. See, this is pretty easy, right? Next, 527. So go ahead and find your 500. Remember, if I'm doing this too quickly for you and you need longer to find all of your cards, just push pause and then push play again when you're ready. It's kind of the cool thing about having a video. Okay, so 527, I've built my number just like it has there, and now I'm going to expand that number out. And I have 500 as one of my parts and 20 as one of my other parts. And my last part is 7 equals, so 500 plus 20 plus 7 equals 527. Another way to say that would be 500s, 2 10s, and 7 1s equals 500s, 2 10s, and 7 1s, which is 527. Okay, next we have 752. Go ahead and find your pieces for that. We have 700. We have 50, and we have 2. I hope that you are using your hide zero cards and not just watching me use mine. You learn best if you are doing it with your own hands also and seeing how those numbers relate to each other. So I hope that you have yours out as well. 750 and 2. We're expanding it out. So we're going to write in an expanded form, 700 plus 50 plus 2 equals 752. So it's just like those number bonds we were making. We have part plus part plus part equals whole. So 700 plus 50 plus 2 equals 752. All right, next we have 201. So we're trying to trick you on this one. We have 200 and we have 1. So we only need 2 of our hide zero cards for this one. We're going to pull it apart, and this one's only going to have 2 parts. We have 200 plus 1 equals 201. And that 0 is really important that it stays there as the placeholder because we don't have any 10s. We have 200s, we have 1, and there's no 10 in this number. It's 0 10s. But that 0 is really important because if you just wrote it like that without putting the 0 in the middle, it would be 21. And if somebody asked you if you wanted $21 or $201, that 0 there in the middle makes a big difference, doesn't it? I'd much rather have $201 than $21. So we want to make sure that that 0 goes in there to hold our place value for 10, that there are no 10s. All right, next we have 310. Go ahead and find your 300 and your 10. Okay, 310, it matches the number. I'm going to pull it out to find out what my expanded form is. And I have 300 plus 10 equals 310. All right, only 2 more here on the front. 507. So find your 500 and your 7. Okay, 507. It matches. I'm going to pull it apart to see what my parts are. I have 500 plus 7 1s equals 507. Same thing with this one. Without that 0 there, it would be 57. And $57 is very different than $507, right? Very different. All right, next one, 750. Look, as the same numbers, both of these numbers, they both have a 7 and a 5 and a 1. I mean, a 7 and a 5 and a 0, except they're very different numbers because those individual numbers are in different spots on the place value chart. So 500s is very different than 700s, even though they have the same numbers in there, right? Okay, so we're looking for 700 and a 50. All right, it makes the number 750. I'm going to pull it apart to expanded form. So I have 700 plus 50 equals 750. All right, we're going to pancake flip that over to the back. Plop. Write the answer in number form. So now we're going to be they're giving us the expanded form, and we're going to write it in standard form, also known as number form. So we're going to find these hide zero cards. Now, if you're looking at this, you go, oh, Miss Cavanis, I can do that just fine. Then that's okay. You can skip doing it with me. But for the rest of you, we're going to do it together. So I'm going to find the 2 and the 30 and the 100. 2 and 30 and 100, right? I've got all this the right parts. I'm going to put those parts together in the order they're supposed to be in. And what do I get? 132. So 2 plus 30 plus 100 equals 132. 2 plus 30 plus 100 equals 132. Okay, next one, go ahead and find all of those pieces. $302 and 10. Okay, and then we're going to put them in the correct order that they go in. And what number does it make? If we have 300s and 2 ones and 110, we get 300s and 110 and 2 ones, which is 312. Okay, there's that 3 in the hundreds place for 300. There's that 10 in the tens place, the 110 for 10. And then there's the 2 in the ones place for 2 ones. Okay, next one we have 50 plus 200 plus 7. So 50 plus 200 plus 7. All right, and we put those parts together. What is the whole that we end up with? It's 257. So we had the 2 hundreds and the 5 tens and the 7 ones. Are you getting the hang of this? Is it making sense to you? I hope so. Next one, we have 70 plus 500 plus 2. 70 plus 500 plus 2, and we put those together. Part plus part plus part, we get 572. So there's the 500 that goes in the hundreds place. There's the 70, which is 7 tens that goes in the tens place. And there's the 2 ones that goes over here in the ones place. All right, next we have 1 plus 200. So we want to find the 1 plus the 200. Okay, and we put those parts together. We get 201. Right, next one, 100 plus 3. So 100 plus 3, we get 103. So 1 in the hundreds place and a 3 in the ones place, no tens. 700 plus 5. We're going to put that 5 in the ones place and we get 705. So 700s, no tens, 5 ones. All right, and the last one for our problem set, we have 7 plus 500. So 7 plus 500. Do you see that it's the same numbers in these two problems, but there's 700s, 5 ones. This one has 500s, 7 ones. So they're kind of flip-flopped, which makes a very different number. So we're going to put that 7 in the ones place where it belongs. And we have 7 plus 500 equals 507. So we have a 5 in the hundreds place, a 0 in the tens place, and a 7 in the ones place. All right, and that is it for lesson 6 problem set. Hopefully that made sense to you and I explained it well enough. We're going to look at the directions for the homework page and I'm going to leave you to work on that on your own. What you're doing is match the numerals with the number names. So these are the numerals, which means numerals is a fancy word for numbers. So match the numbers with their number names. So what you're going to do is you're going to read that word and you're going to say 230. And you're going to find the 200. And you're going to find the 30. And you're going to see what number that makes. 230, and you're going to find it over here, this same number, and you're going to draw a line from 230 word to the 230 number, okay? Then you're going to say, let's use this one as an example, 417. You're going to find 400, and then there is no 17 card, so how do you make 17? It's a 10 and 7 ones. Right? So 417, you're going to find that number and draw a line to it as straight as you can. Now, what's important, and when I've taught this lesson before, where kids end up messing up is that they don't sound the word out correctly. So they read the number wrong and then they draw it to the wrong thing. So for example, this says 850. You need to be really careful to sound those out. This does not say 15. 815 is a very different number than 850. So it ends in a Y, which makes the E sound, 50, not 15. So if it doesn't end with an N like that, an N, then you know it's not a teen number. Okay, so be careful about that. Read them really well. That is the word 17, and this is the word 70. And 17 and 70 are really different numbers. So that's all you're doing here. You're going to read the number word, build it with your hide zero cards, and match it to the number on the side. Pancake, flip it over. Back here. Now, there's a couple different ways you could do this. This first one, the easiest way that I could explain it to you would be to get out your hundreds chart and would be to build it on here. So 1, 2, 3, 4 ones. I would use my hundreds chart if I were you, and I would lay out, oops, I was using green for ones the other day. 2, 3, I would lay out 4 ones, and then it has 1, 2, 3, 4 in the tens. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it has how many in the hundreds? 2 100s. So I would lay out 2 100s, and then I would see what number I had here. Okay, I would say, oh, I have 2 in the hundreds place, and 1, 2, 3, 4 in the tens place, and 4 in the ones place. What number does that make? Okay, so all you're doing is writing the regular number right there on the line. Okay, next one, 300 plus 90 plus 9. We can use our hide zero cards for all of these rest of them here. And you can say 300 plus 90 plus 9. Okay, and then you can put those cards together and see what number you end up with, and you're going to write the number on the line. Okay, same for all the rest of these in this section. Then you get to down here and it says write each number in expanded form. So all you're doing here is practicing what we just learned on the problem set. So you're going to take that 533, and if you think you can do it without your hide zero cards properly, you can. But I would like to check your homework today, all of us second grade teachers, and see that you guys have done your homework page properly. So if you're going to do it without using the hide zero cards, you need to make sure you know what you're doing. 533. So you would make sure it does build the correct number. 533, yep. And then you'd pull it apart into expanded form, and you would write 500 plus 30 plus 3. Okay, that's what you're going to do for all of these in this section. So you're going to be writing out the expanded form that you just learned. All right, I hope that you enjoyed place value with me today, and I will see you tomorrow for problem set 7. Goodbye.